Hey guys, I just wanted to hop on here and make a quick little, I don't know if it's a how-to video, but a little informational video. I had a friend buy a gardening system similar to my greenstalk garden, but one that she just found at a local store. And she was asking me what kinds of seeds she can put in her garden tower. And so I asked her, hey, do you want me to just write it out? And she's like, why don't you make a YouTube video and then other people might get use out of it. So that's what I'm doing. So there's so many different types of these garden towers. This one is made by Greenstock. I know you can find them at Dollar Tree. They come in like a 3 cell little tower that you stack. There's aeroponic ones, hydroponic ones. I've seen so many different, like Garden Tower, I think is another one, just different name brands. But for purposes of this video, I only know and can comment on ones that contain soil because that's the only kind I've grown in. So you can grow almost anything in one of these garden towers. For instance, this one is full of strawberries, greens, kale. It had some mustard greens at one point. It has onions now, and they're all doing really well. My other one has lettuce, peppers, tomatoes, herbs, spinach, flowers, um, like I said, well, dill, onions, all sorts of different things. So the big thing when you're looking at your whatever garden tower it is that you have is the depth of the pot itself. This thing is completely full of soil. The whole diameter of the um, of the circle, I guess. But or the whole, yeah, the whole thing is full of soil, is what I'm saying. But you still only have this deep of a pocket. So some things like a berry producing um, fruit tree, or just anything that would have bigger, woodier root systems, I don't think would do really well, but I've never tried it, so maybe some of the more dwarf varieties would work in there. But for things, so say you have tomatoes, peppers, eggplant would all work in these. You just have to be mindful of where you put them in the container. So you wouldn't want to put something that on the package says it's going to grow like tall and then cover up the rest of the cells. And then you would end up covering and shading out the other pockets where you might have other things growing. Um, if you're planning, so just be mindful of that for one. For number two, you don't want to overcrowd the cells. You can plant, like I said, almost anything in them, um, but I would only put like one seedling in each cell. You might want to start out with more than one seed, um, like maybe 2 or 3, just to see how many actually germinate. And if all of them germinate, then you can just cut out the other ones. If they don't, then you have at least one good viable seedling. But that way you give them enough space to grow to their full potential, unless you're growing like baby lettuce or something like that. Let's see. So my friend, was asking about like peas and cucumbers. I think those would work fine. So one thing you want to be mindful of peas and cucumbers is their vining. So the same thing, don't want to have things start like blocking things when they grow tall. The vines are going to cover cells, different pockets when they grow down. So if you can put it next to a railing, or if you have a little trellis you can put next to it. Some of these have trellising systems that you can buy with them. Be mindful of that. You might get away with planting like peas on one side, and as it starts getting warmer, some lettuce on under it, so it can maybe shade the lettuce, but not until you get the lettuce established. You don't want it to shade it while it's germinating and starting to grow. But you might be able to use that for your towards your advantage. But yeah, so vining crops do work well. I had a cucumber growing in my other one last year, and or in the fall, and it worked fine. So cucumbers, peas would definitely work. Tomatoes, peppers, onions. I think you could grow garlic in them. Strawberries are great. Small flowering annuals would do really well. I grew coleus. I have the violas in there. So the other thing she did mention was she had squash. So squash plants get really big. I don't think that type of vining or that type of vegetable would do well in this because it does grow quite large, like and robust. If it was a vining squash plant, you probably could get away with it because it would just vine and you could let it go down the side of it, but not like a traditional green or yellow squash. I think that would probably be a little big for one of these. But yeah, there's not much else. I think you can even do carrots. I mean, most of the carrots that I grow are not this long anyway, so you definitely could grow something like carrots in these. I think that would be a really good idea, especially now that you could plant those in spring, or now, and then they could grow through the spring. Here in Florida, it gets really hot during the rest of the year, so fall through the winter, and then early spring is our time for carrots. Also, things like broccoli, cauliflower, those would do really well in here. I know she asked me about that, and I mean, broccoli plants can get kind of large, but if you put it more towards the top, I think it would work out just fine. I mean, you never know until you try something anyway, so it's worth trying. And yeah, so I mean, I think they're a great system. Obviously, this one is working really well with the strawberries. And then, like I said, it has onions, some uh, romaine lettuce. And the nice thing about these is if part of it is getting too much sun, like I can turn the part that has the lettuce away from the sun during the hottest parts of the day and turn it back in the evening, so it kind of rotated around. But these things are so versatile, like you can grow almost anything. I'm trying to think of anything else, like something like a pineapple. I'm looking at my pineapple right now. You wouldn't want to grow in this. Yeah, my key lime, like fruit trees, like anything large like that, you wouldn't grow in a green stalk or a container like that. But yeah, almost any vegetable, I say try it. You don't know until you try, but any of the normal, your starter vegetables, that's what my friend was starting out. She's not a gardener, so I mean, she's got to start somewhere. So anything that she has, I would recommend her trying in her green stalk or in her container. Say hi to Bella and Benelli. Hi. Oh God. Oh. Jesus Christ. Anyways, but yeah, so I hope you found this video useful. I might as well talk about things like this if questions come up. That way more than one person might get the answers they're looking for. Like I said, I'm no expert in them. I've only grown in these green stalks, but what has worked really well for me, I will definitely share with others. And yeah, so I wish you all the success. And if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.